Hey everyone, and a huge welcome to this explainer. I am so thrilled to have you joining us today. We're going to be unpacking a genuinely innovative curriculum that does something pretty incredible. It takes the absolutely critical, globally urgent issue of water conservation and weaves it perfectly into a practical guide for mastering English. It's basically a masterclass in how to learn two vital life skills at the exact same time. So let's get right to it. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the value of water, move into pollution and water shortage, explore the water family story, and then tackle mastering English grammar before finishing up with expanding our vocabulary. Okay, let's dive straight in with our first core theme, Section 1, the value of water. Before we even look at raw data or vocab lists, this curriculum does an amazing job setting the emotional stakes. It uses a song from a character named Little Jarna, and she sings, "Water is a necessity. Water is life. Water is the soul. Saving it is our goal." I just love this because it establishes right out of the gate that we aren't just memorizing facts here. We are talking about survival, life, and our shared responsibility. It really frames everything else we're going to talk about today. To put our immense reliance on water into perspective, check out how this breaks down across our daily lives. Looking at the home column, you've got the essentials, right? Bathing, cleaning, drinking. But then, jump over to agriculture. Growing staples like rice and watering plants takes massive amounts of irrigation. And in industry, water isn't just for washing things down. It's literally cooling heavy machinery and producing the electricity that powers our modern world. It really is the lifeblood connecting every single sector of society. But, of course, just knowing its value is only half the battle. That brings us to Section 2, pollution and water shortage. Now, the textbook uses this brilliant, interactive poem called Knock Knock to teach environmental boundaries. Think of it like a VIP list for the environment. Helpful things like a clean river, fresh air, or even a dustbin come knocking and get a warm "You are welcome, dear." But when dirty smoke or polluted air show up, they're met with a firm "Sorry, you are not allowed." It's such a catchy, memorable way to categorize helpful versus harmful environmental impacts. And the crucial takeaway here is that yes, global groundwater levels are dropping fast because of pollution and just incredible waste. But the solutions are actually right in our hands. The text outlines super practical, everyday actions. We're talking about turning off taps when you aren't using them, fixing leaks right away, just being conscious of our water use, and, really importantly, harvesting rainwater. It all boils down to this. If we save water today, we will have enough for tomorrow, for sure. To really drive that point home, the curriculum shifts into this gripping fable. Welcome to Section 3, the water family story. Let's walk through this timeline, because it's a great story. It starts with the warning. A villager named Raju is carelessly wasting precious piped water to wash his bike. He totally ignores the warnings because, hey, the rivers look full right now, right? But then, step 2, the crisis. Just 2 years later, a massive drought hits. Rivers dry up, wells sit empty, and suddenly there is zero drinking water. Enter step 3, the intervention. A wise farmer named Parvath Bai, a guy people actually mocked for treating water like gold, steps up and shares his stored rainwater with the desperate village. Finally, we get to step 4, the resolution. A district collector sees Parvat Bai's success and agrees to fund underground tanks for everyone, but only on the strict condition that the whole village promises to harvest rainwater from now on. It's an incredible look at how early ignorance can actually evolve into community action and survival. And what makes this story so rich is the specific dynamic of Parvat Bai's household, affectionately known as the water family. Look at how diverse their contributions are. Parvat Bai physically builds a Ket Talavdi, which is a farm pond, along with underground tanks. His eldest daughter, Varsha, is a mechanic. She fixes any leaking taps. The second daughter, Vari, uses her voice to give conservation speeches at the local panchayat. And the youngest, Little Jarna, sings to inspire everyone. It absolutely proves that no matter your age or your specific skill set, you have a vital role to play in conservation. All right, having absorbed all this amazing environmental context, the curriculum does a brilliant pivot. Let's dive into Section 4, Mastering English Grammar. We really shouldn't look at conjunctions as boring, dry textbook rules. Think of them as the essential tools you need to glue your ideas together and tell better stories. We use but to show contrast. She was tired, but she finished her homework. We use or for choices, tea or coffee. So gives us a result. He worked hard, so he passed. Because is all about the reason. I didn't go to school because I was sick. And just adds info. He took a stick and started walking. Mastering these little connecting words instantly levels up how clearly you communicate. Then, of course, we have prepositions. Those are the words that tell us where things are. And actually, choosing the wrong one can create some pretty hilarious situations. I mean, think about it. My nose is in my eyes, or I am sitting on the fan. Unless you're some kind of acrobatic mechanic, that second one is going to be a real problem. By fixing the prepositions, the communication becomes crystal clear. My nose is between my eyes, and I am sitting under the fan. It's just a fun, lighthearted reminder that precision in language really does matter. And that brings us to our final stop today, Section 5, Expanding Our Vocabulary. Let's see how this environmental context logically builds out our descriptive English words. So, the source material asks learners to arrange water bodies from smallest to largest. It essentially creates this fantastic visual ladder of vocabulary. We start small at step 1 with a localized pond, step up to a flowing stream, expand into a lake, witness a massive waterfall, follow the vast flow of a river, until we finally hit the absolute largest scale at step 6, the ocean. By organizing these words by size, your brain naturally anchors their definitions relative to one another. It makes them so much easier to remember. We can actually apply that exact same logic to animals. By categorizing creatures into domestic animals we live alongside, like cows and dogs, wild animals roaming the forests, like lions and tigers, and water animals in our oceans, like dolphins and whales, we aren't just memorizing arbitrary lists. We're actively mapping out complex ecosystems in our minds, while simultaneously mastering English vocabulary in a highly structured, efficient way. It's a total win-win. And with that, we've reached the end of our deep dive. We've seen exactly how learning the mechanics of a language doesn't have to just happen in a vacuum. It can be directly tied to the survival and betterment of our world. So I want to leave you with this final thought. How will you use your newly mastered vocabulary and your precise, clear sentences to champion water conservation in your own community? Think about it, talk about it with others, and most importantly, act on it. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.